Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame. It's Cinnamon Sugar. So I wanted to come on here and give y'all an update. I'm actually going to post this because I have been recording, from time to time, but I haven't uploaded anything because in my mind I was like, that's not interesting enough. Ain't nobody gonna care, whatever, whatever. And so it is what it is. But I am going to post this as an update. So there's one update that I don't want to really discuss until like the end of the year or maybe the beginning of next year. But anyway, let me just go into everything else that I do not have a problem discussing with y'all. So my mama is doing well. Um, she is still bedbound and paralyzed. She goes to doctor's appointments and they do telehealth appointments and all that stuff still. She just had one Friday. She has another one next week for whatever else. And I try not to think about how them people played in my mama face for all these years. And, I'm just hoping that something else comes along where everything can happen naturally for her anyway, because I did not want her to go under the knife. But she's in good spirits. Her birthday is coming up in the next couple of months, and she she wants to do this elaborate thing, but we try to figure out where the money gonna come from, and she was like, "It's gonna have to come from somewhere. I don't know. I'm trying to do this," and I'm like, "Whew." I really want her to be able to get what she wants. I have already committed to making some cornbread because we had discussed something, and she said something, and I was like, "Well, I'll make the cornbread for it." I think I said something about some chili or something. Something I said something about, and I said, "Well, I'll make the cornbread for it because, like, I don't know what it is, but people be living for my cornbread. Like, I have literally been requested to bring cornbread and like certain desserts and things or whatever, and I'm like, okay." Because people love it like that. So it is what it is. I have never received negative comments on the things that I've made. So I'm thankful for that, especially since it's therapeutic for me, or at least it has been therapeutic for me to make and bake certain things in the past. Um, she has changed the date, so now I gotta figure out how this gonna go. It's going to be on days that I'm free, so that's good. Um, but I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna navigate that because like it's gonna be so close to the holidays that it's like, okay. But yeah, I'll tell y'all about it as it gets closer or after it has passed because I don't know how she gonna pull this off. But yeah, other than that, like I said, she's doing all right. She's in good spirits. We talk every day. Yesterday we had a little scare with my sister though. So my mama called me, and I'm thinking like this is her calling me because she finally woke up and want to talk to me because like on the weekends her and my daddy will sleep in. And uh I try not to call unless it's like after 3 p.m. Like if I haven't heard from my mama by 3, then I'll call her. But she ended up calling me, and some kind of way I had missed the call. I had the phone on, not silent. I had it on vibrate, and I was away from my phone. I was in the kitchen doing something, and so I looked at my phone. I said, "Of course." The one time I had my phone on vibrate, I didn't hear nothing. So I called her back, and I was like, "Hey, sorry I missed your phone call. My phone was on silent or whatever." I said to her, and so she asked me how was I doing and all this other stuff. And so she was like, "So listen, uh, I checked in with your sister. I called her this morning and to check on her, and she ain't answered the phone." So then she called her back, and she was saying that my sister didn't sound like her stuff. And I'm looking like, "What you talking about? What you mean?" Because at this point, I'm about to stand up and go get my keys. Because what we talking about, I'm 10 minutes away from my sister. Like I live the closest to my sister now. So I'm like, what is we doing? Like, do I need to ride? Do I need to ride out? Let's go. And so like I don't play that. I'm gonna pop up. So she was like, she had asked her, what's going on? What's wrong with you? Like, have you eaten today? She was like, no, my sister is like the majority of the people in my family. They have terrible migraines. Hallelujah, that ain't never been my issue. But she has terrible, terrible migraines. And you know good and well, not eating is the one thing that you can't sit up there and had the audacity to be doing, is to not eat. And so my mama was like, you just like your folks, you need to get some food in your system. Do I need to send your daddy or somebody over there? Whatever. And so my sister was like, I'm gonna get up. So like I said, she ended up calling me after that. And I didn't answer the phone because, I didn't have my volume up. So when I called her back, she was like, I done told her that I'm going to send your daddy or somebody over there because ain't nobody got time for this. Typical fashion for my daddy. My daddy heard his name, which is Daddy, and was like, because at this point, that's his name. Obviously, I know his name. He was like, oh, I need to change clothes. My daddy was finna get up because y'all don't understand. I was in this house hollering. My daddy don't play by the my daddy don't play by us. He don't play by my sister. Like, at this point, my mama did not give birth to my sister. My daddy spit her out. It don't make no sense. How much they look alike. Y'all, wait a minute. And then I gotta tell y'all about the conversation that happened that even my brother ended up walking in on and was like, what is going on here? What are you talking about? Okay, y'all, so let me tell y'all, wait. Grab the popcorn. Wait a minute, grab the popcorn and things. Grab the snacks. Listen, why we get to talking. And she was like, yeah. I forgot how we got there. But she was like, I think when she was talking about how my sister didn't eat or hadn't eaten or whatever, it prompted her to say, I don't know what it was about y'all, but breakfast was the only thing that I could really keep down when I was pregnant with all of y'all. I thought that that's all it was with me because I live for breakfast. I love breakfast all day, every day. And that's all my mama used to tell me that she could eat when she was pregnant with me. Now I'm learning that that's what it was with all of us. That ain't what I was going to tell y'all about that part of the conversation. That's not the part. Why? I'm talking to my mama. My mama was like, so, I already knew I was the easiest birth my mama had. She ain't had no issues with me. She had morning sickness for like maybe 3 months and that was it. She was sick a lot with my sister, but oh my gosh, she was in terrible pain with my brother. She was in labor with him for 5 days. He would, like, at 10 o'clock on the dot at night, he would just start doing the most. That I don't know what that was about. And I'm 5 years older than my brother. So I was well aware of what was going on with my mama. I would go up to her. I would touch her belly, like all of that. I was fascinated with her pregnancy, all that stuff, right? I don't like, like, I'm the type of person, I don't like to see people in pain. So I would see her in pain. It made me feel some type of way as a child. So even when it came time for her to give birth, it was like they took her to the hospital. My daddy took her to the hospital and then they were like, yeah, you're not ready. She said her water never broke with any of us or whatever, right? So that's one thing. So then, like I said, she hurting, like, in labor with my brother for 5 days. And then when he finally came, now this is something I already knew. When he finally came, my daddy got to the hospital, dropped her off at the door. They took her to the back. By the time he parked the car and went on the inside, which was in 5 minutes, my brother was already here. Like, he had done all of that. And my daddy missed the birth because he was parking the vehicle. That's crazy. Y'all, why my mama gonna tell me? why she told me that their original plan was to have 6 kids. I said, excuse me, what? Because I was like, I know I ain't hear you right. I always thought that they said, we want a boy and a girl. And that once they had me and my sister, my mama said, if it don't happen this time, it just ain't meant to be. Because we ain't got time for the situation that happened with your sister. My aunt had 5 girls. She had her first 2 children were twin girls. And after that, everybody was just a girl. Everybody was just a girl. And for anybody that's into science and, things like that, men determine what you have. But my aunt is my daddy's sister. And it just was looking like we about to have girl. Like everybody, just about everybody was having mainly girls. So I don't know. It seems like there was like a rarity for boys to really come about like that. I don't know what it is. But again, men determine the sex of the baby. So I had always been told, if this third child ain't a boy, I ain't doing it no more. But no, their original plan was to have 6 children. I was like, what you talking about? She was like, yeah, we want to have 6 kids. But my mama's mama was like, you can't have no more babies after this, right? Because she was going through so bad with my brother. She ended up having teeth removed and everything. Like, my brother took my mama down through there. She was hurting so bad. She was going through. Did she have an epidural with me? She had an epidural with me. But everybody else was like the terrible, like everybody else's pregnancy was just so, I don't know why. She said it was just bad. And her pregnancies, they kept getting worse. The deliveries. And so I was like, what? She was like, yeah, you were the easiest delivery. And I don't really necessarily think it was due to the epidural. But anyway, I was just thrown off. I was just like, what you mean? Y'all was planning on having 6 kids. Like I told y'all, my brother entered the chat. My brother came in the room and was like, what you mean you was trying to have 6 kids? What's wrong with y'all? Because I had literally just said the same thing. I said, what's wrong with y'all? What y'all was trying to have 6 kids? Oh. My brother was like, what? And I heard him in the background. I said, what did he say? She was like, my mama in that cackling. She was like, your brother said the same thing. He was like, what y'all was trying to have all these kids for? Like, he was in the background going off. He was like, why? What's wrong with y'all? I was just laughing. I was laughing so hard. But yeah, that was funny. That was crazy. I never knew that. I vividly remember them telling me that if the third child was not a boy, she was not trying again. When in reality, they had planned to have 6 kids. And so my mom was like, well, it was 9 of them and it was 7 of us. And I'm like, but still. And then my brother said something about, you ain't had nothing but this amount of rooms. Where you thought 6 kids was going to go? And I was like, well, I don't know why he said that. It ain't like Daddy and them had 9 rooms. And y'all definitely didn't have 7 rooms. Like my grandmama had, 3? She had her bedroom, my uncle's bedroom. She had 3 bedrooms. They were nice-sized bedrooms for the house to be what it was. And I really hate that my uncle had gotten that house demolished because, like, even what the walls were made out of, like, it took a real demolition crew to knock that house down. There wasn't no reason for him to knock that house down. He's deceased now or whatever, but yeah, he had the house knocked down, and he had a trailer, like, right behind it. And I was just like, what was the reason? Like there was nothing wrong with the house. There was no infestation. Like, wasn't nothing going on. Wasn't no reason for him to have knocked that house down. Anyway. But yeah, that was so crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was like, girl, what in the world? But yeah, so my mama said, okay, if by 5:30, I'm going to give your sister till 5:30. And I'm going to call her back if she hadn't called me. And I'm going to see if she's eating or not. And what she got going on. If she don't sound how she need to sound, then yeah, I'm going to need for you to roll out. I was like, okay, let me know. I'll roll out. I'm up the street. essentially. Like, it ain't gonna take me but 10 minutes, if that, to get to her house. Driving the speed limit, catching lights in between and all that. So she ended up calling me back and she was like, your sister sound fine now. Like, she sounds awake. Like, she had been asleep the whole day. So I was like, well, do you know if the people gave her some medicine or something when she went to this wellness thing that she went to, this doctor's appointment? And so she was like, I don't know. I was like, that could be what it is. Maybe they gave her some new medicine or something that got her asleep like that. Like, what is it? Because I think she either worked half of the day or she took off Friday and went to the appointment. But she slept like all day yesterday. Now that don't really worry me, because when we all lived together, me and my sister ended up sharing a room after my brother was born or whatever. And so until I moved out, she and I shared a room. And so she always sleep. She's Garfield. My sister, one of them, she will sleep all day, all night. She'll look up and be like, oh, feel like going to sleep, and just will go to sleep, all of that. So her just being asleep all day and stuff like that don't really worry me. But for her to have gone off the rest of Friday afternoon into the afternoon on yesterday to be asleep like that, what's going on here? This wasn't after a long trip, because I've done that before. I remember when we went on a trip to, we did the Underground Railroad. We followed the Underground Railroad. So when we came back from the trip, I don't sleep. I don't sleep on trips. I don't know why. I even if I feel like I'm in a safe hand, I don't go to sleep. So we had already crossed back in from Canada. And so we were in Michigan. And so we left out that morning, and whatever time we made it back to Montgomery, like I said, I was awake the entire time. And so when I made it home, I hadn't had nothing to eat. That was my first time ever having Chick-fil-A. And I had I literally had a chicken biscuit, an orange juice, and maybe some hash browns or whatever. I hadn't eaten in like over 24 hours after that, and I still felt full. I would barely wake up to go to the bathroom. I think I barely woke up and went to the bathroom maybe once. And I was exhausted because I hadn't slept. Like, I don't sleep, and I feel well rested, all of that, whatever. But stuff like that, it didn't really bother me. It was just traveling. Got back to Alabama, and I went home, and I slept. Didn't nobody bother me. For real, my mama tried to get me to get up and eat, and I told her, I woke up for a minute and was like, I ain't hungry. Like, I literally I didn't feel hungry. I still felt full from when I had that food. I don't know how that happened. I wish I felt like that in real life, because I wouldn't be so fat. I ate breakfast. You know what time they stopped serving breakfast? I ate that breakfast before we left. Where was we at? Michigan. Where was we at? Anyway, wherever it was, we had crossed back in and went to the hotel, whatever hotel we were staying in back in the United States. And we left. And then we ended up driving back and all of that. So, yeah, y'all, it was a lot. But I wasn't hungry. And I slept. And they checked on me. And I would wake up and be like, yeah, I'm fine. And go right back to sleep. That was crazy. I'm not usually the type that could just go straight back to sleep. Like, it take a lot for me to go back to sleep. I was tired. So anyway, my mama's doing well, like I said. My sister, all right. She had gotten up and she had eaten. And also, like I was telling y'all earlier, she gonna try to blame all of us for her having like high sugar right now, and they're running tests, and tests are gonna come back like next week or whatever. And I'm like, if you have diabetes or whatever, it is what it is. Do what you gotta do. And I told her, I said, it's probably because of the meat substitutes that you eat, because she inadvertently stopped eating meat because she had a bad experience, but she started doing substitutes. And like I told y'all before, she has eczema real bad and always has had it. And I was happy that she had stopped eating meat because I'm like, that's usually the one thing that will stop people from their healing journey of getting that type of stuff out of their system. That's just one step. And getting certain dairy and stuff out of your system that'll irritate it. But I know she's eating a lot of stuff that got soy in it, and that's probably why she still got it. But she don't want to give it up. And I told her, like, I've challenged her. I have literally spent money when I was in Virginia, bought kits from Crystal Alkaline Doula and sent them to her. She put them in her refrigerator, and I don't think she ever cracked them open. I know she ain't never cracked them open ever since then. Never had to pay for it. And I told her, hey, for a week or two, eat only fruits. And I gave her the list. Like I think about people and I do things for them. And she never took heed. She never tried it. But she sit up there and pay co-pays for these different ointments that don't never work. She still be really, really itchy and break all this stuff be all on her arms, all on her face. Like, it's ridiculous. So it is what it is. But yeah, ultimately everybody doing all right. My brother is taking like Ozempic and all this other crap. I don't want him to do all that. I know that he can lose weight naturally, just like I'm losing weight naturally. Now, I do what I want to do, and I done told y'all I'm never gonna lie to y'all. I have, yes, lost 70 something pounds or whatever. And I might have gained a couple of pounds back ever since then, but I'm still on my journey. I'm still doing well. Most of the time I eat fruit. Sometimes I eat what I want to eat. Like today is one of the days I'm gonna eat whatever it is I want to eat, drink whatever it is I want to drink. But I'm not bad off like I was this summer. Where I couldn't walk, couldn't do nothing. And yes, I am still struggling with everything that's going on with my thighs, but I'm headed in the right direction. When I get off here, I'm gonna do things that I normally do for my legs. Also, I don't know when I'm gonna do it because I've been saying it for years and life been lifing, but I'm gonna have to eventually do it. I didn't know that it was that deep. I didn't know people was gonna care. But I don't know how many of y'all watch it. But The Family Business has returned for its 6th season. I live for that show. That show is really good, and a lot of people were not hip to it until years after it had been out. I think I was the first person to do recap reviews on that show. I didn't think nobody was going to care about it. People to this day still come out of nowhere and be like, I'm only watching this recap review because of you, or we don't have this where I live. And so I'm watching what you're saying and I'm visualizing the situation happening because I'm watching you do it. And I'm looking like, I ain't think nobody was gonna care. People to this day are still wanting me to do them. So I might bring back recap reviews for that show and just pick up where I left off. And I'm far, far, far behind. I was supposed to have been picked that back up like a summer or two ago, and I never did. But the show is so good, even the spinoff good. Oh Lord, I just started the first episode for this new season. I ain't but 10 minutes in. It's already good. If you ain't watching The Family Business, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I have okay, so when it first came out, when I first saw the first trailer for it, I already knew I was going to watch it. If not only just to see, what it was hidden for, just to say I watched it. And if I don't like it, I can say I saw it and I wasn't interested and I move on to something else. But I figured I was going to like it because I already knew a lot of the cast. Like the daddy, I already seen him in other stuff. I think he was in Ghostbusters. The mama, I think her most notable role was when she was the mama on Half and Half, but she has been an actress for the longest. The woman who played Good Times as Thelma is on there. What's her name? Thelma Hopkins. Is that her name? I'm probably saying it wrong. I'm probably saying the other woman's name. Yeah, I'm saying her name wrong. I don't know why, but y'all know who I'm talking about. She played on Good Times as JJ's sister. I don't know why I just said her name wrong. I know I just said her name wrong, but Yeah, I don't know why I can't think of her name right now. Like, I'm literally envisioning her face. But she's on that show as well. She's on that one and the spinoff. Um, one of the twins, the girl twin that's on there. I knew her, and I have already told, like, this has been years ago though. So for those of y'all who are new here or who did not watch when I was doing the recap reviews of that show, telling y'all about the people on there and how I knew them and if I knew them prior to the show, the girl that's on there as the twin girl, I think her name is Paris. I knew of her existence prior to this show because I was watching a show I was paying to watch. I was paying for a subscription to watch it, and it was on Black and Sexy TV. Black and Sexy TV is something that I might watch every other blue moon now, depending on what content is on there now, because the husband and wife are no longer together, or the guy and the woman that he was with are no longer together. And some shady stuff had went down and all that, because I know I've mentioned that before. Some stuff had went down. He had done her wrong. They had a child together. And I'm like, they was making money together. Now she is doing exceptionally well by herself. She's done different movies, like directed movies and all this other stuff. And I think she's actually been in stuff. I live for her. If I think about it, I'll put her name somewhere in this video. But every other blue moon, I will pay like one monthly for one subscription month to see certain things that I used to watch on there, but that's about it. Maybe once a year or once every 2 years. But as far as how I was doing before, oh baby, I was paying $6 to $10 a month to watch what they had on there. It was good content. It was worth paying for. But I don't support like I used to, because the wife, girl, the woman, whatever, her relation to that dude, they ain't together no more. So I'm like, I'm not finna support you after all the stuff I heard you had going on. I ain't got time. But I knew her from on one of the shows called Chef Julian, and she might have been in one of the other spinoffs too. She was playing a side chick on there. She was fine in a mug on there, and she's still fine. There are other people on there. If y'all watch Down in the Valley where the girl get naked, some, they gonna shake it. 1, 2, P Valley. I never can think of it unless I sing the song. The woman who is the main character, she's on there. I know the man who plays her daddy. I can't think of what his name is in real life. The mama, I've seen her and stuff. Her mama, I've seen her and stuff. So back to the main characters. The son, Junior, I've seen him forever. I've known of his existence for at least 20-some years, at least. And I mentioned at one point in time when I was doing the recap reviews about how he had lost a little weight because he big. I ain't never really been into no big dudes. Now, yes, baby, I'm fat. I'm fatter than a mug. I know that. I understand that. A lot of people feel like if you fat, you should sit up there and had the audacity to be like, oh, I don't like big dudes. I just ain't never been attractive. They just ain't never been attractive to me. Like, if they was fine in the face, they was just fine in the face, but it wasn't never like, ooh, I want a big man. Ooh, I want this. Ooh, like people say a teddy bear. I ain't never looked at no big man and was like, ooh, a teddy bear, nothing like that. I just always wanted a man who had muscles, who was skinny, who was in between. Maybe a slight dad bod was fine. Because my ex in Huntsville, that's what he had. But now he is considered a big dude. But yeah, that was the furthest I was going, was a slight dad bod. I don't know what that was about. But I think it was Preachers of LA or something. Or Preachers of Atlanta or whatever it was. The first time I really looked at a dude and was like, you know what? He thick and he fine. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? It was this pastor. And I can't think of his name. He did that song, What I Think About Jesus, What He's Done For Me. What I think about Jesus, how He set me free. I can dance. I can, what is it? He's a pastor though. He do like rapping and all this other stuff, but he's a pastor. I can't think of his name. I got the song. I can't think of it. But anyway, I saw him and I was like, I kept seeing the show and I was like, why? Why he keep looking a little good to me? Then I had a coworker when I was in Virginia, and he is like small, right? One day he was like, "Yeah, I used to be big." I thought this man was lying. I was like, "Why are you lying like this?" So he had gone to jail. Some stuff had went down, and he is one of those people where he learned his lesson and he really got rehabilitated and changed his life for the better. And he do everything he's supposed to do or whatever. He was big and he was fine. Like I don't know if it's a certain way you carry that weight or something. He was big and fine. I was like, wait a minute, you was fine big and you fine small. What's going on? But but yeah, I'm still really not into big dudes like that. But if you some of these dudes be a little big and they be fine. Like I will acknowledge you. I will acknowledge how fine you are. Like if you fine, you just fine. But back, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the turning point was. But I was just like, he big and he fine. When this happened? When I ever look at a big dude and was like, ooh, he fine. But Junior always been like the face. He was always fine to me in the face, even though he always had this thug exterior or whatever and always had to look like he was a gangster or he had to look mean in the face. He lost that little weight and he still had some weight on him, and it was like just the right amount of fat that he done took off, and it made him look delicious. And I was like, ooh, Junior fine. What happened? Junior fine in a mug. I don't be knowing what's going on. And I'd be like, ooh. And then the woman who played his wife, what's her name? Brevely Evans or something. I always lived for her. I've seen her in several movies and TV shows. Who else is on there that I could think of in the moment? Y'all know Christian Keys, the Tyler Perry scandal, all the other stuff that's going on. He used to be in Tyler Perry Plays. He's the person behind the TV show All the Queen's Men, based on his book or whatever it was he did. Yeah, he's in the show. Like, there are so many people in this show that I knew prior to this show. But the family business, get into that. If you want to see a show and it's good, watch that. Y'all, I have been watching all the 911s. The new 911 Nashville that came out. Clutched my pearls. The first episode. What is going on here? Grey's Anatomy came back. And a lot been going on there. I'm just so tired. It's just so many things going on. Bell Collective came back. I'm tired in my spirit. I think there is I could be wrong. I need to check into it and see some kind of dollhouse show. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on because I used to religiously watch Bring It. So I'm trying to understand if this is an updated version, but without Diana. I don't know what's going on. So I was thinking about checking it out today. Depending on how I feel, I might. What else am I watching? Bell Collective is something else I'm watching. Zatima, I do watch that. I don't want to spoil it for nobody, so I ain't gonna speak on that. So if you're watching it, you know, you know. If you know, you know. A lot been going on there. A lot been going on Sisters. I hate how their storyline ain't parallel to one another because it don't make sense. A lot been going on Sisters. Part of me kind of hate that I ain't been doing a recap review on it, but a lot just be going on. I ain't got time. But anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I got to get up off of here. I got some things to do. I hope that everybody has been doing well. Let me know if you got any questions for me, and if I can answer them, I will. Have a good one. Bye.